Good morning, my lovely people. I am tuning in from a very grey day in the UK. My partner is currently hiking in the Pyrenees in France, and he's sending me photographs of beautiful sunshine, glistening rivers, flowers growing, and I'm just sat here like, where is our sunshine in the UK in June? Anywho, I digress. I'm popping on here because yesterday I had a bit of an experience and it might resonate with someone out there. It started with my algorithm on my feed showing me a post by Alfred Androgynous, and they were talking about the anomaly or the question mark that some of us might have over our lives. Are they male? Are they female? Are they in their feminine energy, a masculine energy? Are you a darkened being or are you a being of light? And that chaos or that confusion from an external point of view. I just got a text, Jeremy has reached the mountain peak, hurrah! The chaos of not knowing, like you're not black or white or male or female, you're somewhere in the in-between, and you might be a bit confusing for some people. And I can't describe really how or what happened to me, but I was like, you just articulated something in me that just clicked to make sense, because for so long I've felt like I have to choose between my darker side and my light side, and now I'm embracing both. And it takes me back to a story which I may have shared in brief before, but many years ago I was on my journey and I was taken in a vision to this very dark scene, and the scene was like this gravelly path with potholes and water in them, and there was darkened trees, and it was all very eerie looking. And as I approached this water in this puddle, I leaned in and looked, and this dark being was looking back at me. She had black hair, hollowed out like black pools. Her eyes were black pools. She had like warrior makeup, and she looked really stern, and she looked quite frightening, to be honest. And as I was looking closer, I was like, what am I looking at? I was trying to work out what I was trying to be shown in this vision. And a voice behind me said, she is you. She is an aspect of you that you need to embrace in order to be the fullness of who you are and to complete like your purpose here. And if you don't embrace her or accept that she is part of you, you can't really be the person that you came here to be. And I sort of at that point, I guess in the era of just, my heart is to love people and to encourage people, and I consider myself quite bright and light and loving and kind and soft and white in comparison to that image that I was seeing before me. But from that vision moving on, a lot changed, and slowly over time I started to realize that there was a part of me that had to set firm boundaries. There was a part of me that had to be very firm with people in order to protect my own peace. There was a part of me that was quite stern. There was a part of me that could speak my truth and stand up for myself and stand up for those around me. There was a sense of seeing the justice, about the balance of justice, and that in order to get justice, you also have to fight for what you believe to be right. And yeah, I believed at that point, my mindset was that love is always passive, and love is always just forgiving, and love is always just soft and meek. And I will still say that forgiveness is a massive top tier. However, that doesn't mean that you continually invite that experience, that person back into your life. There's a difference. So anyway, I was having this vision of this lady, and I feel she came to me again yesterday. I was working on a track for Most Epic Dream, who I've done a lot of collaborations with, and I'd had this piece of music sitting in my door for some time. I didn't really know what to do with it. But I knew inspiration would hit. It reminded me a bit of PJ Harvey. There was something about it, but I didn't know how it was going to sound, and I'd revisited it just to see if something fresh was coming through. And as I just took the microphone yesterday, these words came through about this picture of this woman, and it was sort of, I see her eyes, they're like darkened pools against the light. I see her hair blacker than the ravens. I see her lips, and she speaks to me and she says, step into the water, remember who you are. you are dark and you are powerful, you've forgotten who you are. And as I was singing it, there was this, I knew I was channeling this message to remember these aspects of me that coexist with the other side, the flip side, the light side, the loving side, the tolerant side. And then it got to a part in the music where my spirit just soared, and I was just, there weren't any words, it was like language just in these melodies, and then these harmonies came, and it, listening back, it felt like women on a battlefield, and this just like rah, like you didn't come this far, like this image was brewing in my head. We didn't fight for this and make you a leader. That's how it felt, like they were commissioning me. We didn't come this far and fight as women for you to forget this part of you. And it felt like I don't know how to say it, like I was being commissioned in a sense to remember that I have this leadership quality, and I'm supposed to speak. And it's not always pretty butterflies and love and light. Sometimes it's remember who the fudge you are, wake up, stop being a sheep, grow some balls. Like, what, I'm being mild and careful with my words for Instagram, but there's parts of you, as there are parts of me, that maybe you've suppressed. And yesterday I had a radio interview with Weird Rock, gonna get it right, I'll tag them anyway. And Carl was asking me about my story, and it was quite funny going back to some like very poignant moments throughout my journey. And in hindsight, as I was retelling the story, I was like, that absolutely had to happen, even though at the time I thought this is devastating, or I failed, or but all of my journey has led me to who I am today and where I'm supposed to be. And reminiscing on all that, as I was falling asleep last night, I just listened to this track and sent it to Damien. And it felt like a meditation, and it felt like a call to remembrance for myself. And as I was falling asleep, this vision unfolded again, where I was met with this woman in the puddle. Yet this time I smiled at her and I recognized her, and it's going to bring me to tears. I pulled her out of the puddle, and we faced head on, and we danced like in complete symmetry, and all this light language was coming out of my hands, and my hands were mirroring each other, and there was this beautiful, almost like a ceremony of remembrance coming forward, that I would no longer keep her in the shadows anymore, that there was this part of me that needs to roar. There's this part of me that needs to just accept the fact that I'm supposed to do what I know I'm supposed to do. But there's this little voice, and it keeps you small. And people say it's ego. Who do they think they are? Who does she think she is, proclaiming that she knows this, that, and the other? It doesn't really matter how we're perceived. Your soul has to know who it is. And you have to accept every aspect of yourself and move forward in confidence to be exactly who you've been called to be. And I feel like I'm doing it in little stages, like peeling back the layers of an onion, but I'll get there. And along the way, I hope I can encourage you to do the same. Just be all of you, fully embrace who you are. I love you.